I would like to share a story with you guys that I read over the weekend. If you're not familiar with this, hold on to your seats. It's a terrible one. It takes place out of Norfolk, Virginia on August 2011, but it probably had taken place years and years prior. You'll understand why I said that. A woman opens her door and there is another man standing there. He is looking for someone else. That's what he claims. The woman says that he pushed through her door and he held a knife to her. He then begins to sexually assault her. She's terrified because her 1-year-old son is in the home too. She's scared. She offers him money, so they drive to her ATM, and she withdrew all the money she had in there and gave it to him. She then asks for a ride to her mother's house, and he gladly obliges and takes her there. When she gets there, she pretty much collapsed, and her mother did call the paramedics. Now, this case had actually went to the jury twice, and they failed to give a conviction on charges of burglary, charges of sexual assault, and charges of kidnapping. They were kind of biased to maybe one of those charges. Melvin O'Neill at the time was 19 years old. He actually says, even though the court said that there was overwhelming evidence that this woman was sexually assaulted, that they couldn't, the jurors, both jurors, each time couldn't agree that maybe she was sexually assaulted. He says that they actually had had sex twice before, and this was their third time engaging in sex. And he says that he was only borrowing the money from her, and he had all intent to pay the money back. Now, this is what he says. So out of 15 years that they were going to give him, they suspended and gave him 5. So he actually had 5 years to do. That was it. He was out and a free man after those charges. Now, standing by Melvin's side this whole time was his mother. She stood by him. This is her knee baby. I don't know which order he is. I don't know if he's the second to youngest or the youngest, but this is her knee baby. And I did read that she has other children, but we're not talking about the other siblings that Melvin has. We're just talking about Melvin. So she didn't believe that her son was capable of what he was accused to have done to this woman. She actually would pray for him constantly. She said that the devil was actually after her son or something similar to that. She didn't believe, again, that he could do such a heinous act. And I'm sure while he was in prison for those years, it scared her. And I'm pretty sure she prayed for him every day. No weapons upon him shall prosper. I cancel every assignment of the enemy that seeks to destroy him. And she says a whole bunch of other things. She didn't believe the victim. Now cut to January 7th, 2023, just a few weeks ago. She says this, quote, "Good morning. I would never share this disturbing, traumatic experience. However, I pray that this will help someone. On Saturday, January 7th, 2023, Kendra Hamlin and my 30-year-old son, Melvin O'Neill, visit my home at 8:30 a.m. We laughed, talked, they argued. Then she left my son, yes, my son, that I gave birth to, at my house, saying that she would come back and get him. My ex-son lured me into the bathroom, then beat me with his fists, saying that he was going to beat me to death. He almost did. He beat me, then sexually assaulted me. This will always be a date that I will never forget. Please always be aware of any and everyone. I'm sharing this because I know that none of this was fault. I trusted that my son would never do this to me or anyone. My family has been very supportive, visiting me in the hospital every day, and it definitely helps with the emotional pain. I am strong mentally and a survivor. I was able to escape, and I am alive. He, Melvin O'Neill, will spend the rest of his life in prison. End quote. And this is what his mother, Trina Daniels, had wrote on her Facebook page. Since then, it's been locked because that post, even though I believe she deleted it, it went viral. And you can imagine the people that visited her page, some supportive, probably some not so much. Somebody was able to actually see her page before it was locked and certain things were deleted. They basically say she paints a picture where she puts this knee baby, Melvin, up on a platform, and she has a few other sons and daughters, but she pretty much always hypes up the male figures. That's what they said. I personally haven't seen any of it, but they said that there were more pictures of Melvin on, so maybe she doted on Melvin. I know sometimes mothers do specifically pick out that special child, and unfortunately, they may not hide the fact that they single that child out with more spoiling, more giving, more letting them take advantage of everything. Maybe so. Again, I didn't see this with my own eyes. But I do know, and I seen a post where she didn't believe that the first woman was sexually assaulted by her son. And I have seen that Melvin O'Neill has a lengthy rap sheet. He's been in and out of jail. He's been arrested more than several times. But his mom is always there to pick up the pieces. A lot of people are saying, well, she finally got what she deserved. I can't really say that. That's a horrible thing to even think of, because I myself have a 30-year-old son, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's horrible. But they did say she didn't believe half the things that he was doing out there, so now it was reflected on her, and she couldn't help but believe it. There's been some side talk about this with people that actually claim to know this woman. They say, oh, she's going to forgive him. They even have said that she has bailed him out. Again, I have not seen anything like that. I have not read anything like that besides people commenting that she had bailed her son out. I haven't seen it. I know that this woman, he tried to kill her. She had to escape. What was going on in his head, the fight that he had with this woman that left the house, I believe that might have been a girlfriend maybe, or someone he was seeing, but she left the house and he then takes his anger out on his own mother. Very terrible story. A lot of people believe that she has somewhat forgiven him because she was asking everybody to pray for her son. That's what she did.